Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Monday Motivation. I'm your host, Daniel Kurkowski, as always, joined by Goran Vasovic.
What's going on, everybody? What's up, Daniel?
Not too much, except today we have an extra special guest. He came in, motivated all of us in our weekly brokerage meeting here. We are joined by Rafik Moore from the Caspian Group.
Hello, everybody.
And he was actually a guest on a podcast that we did. I forgot what number it was. Do you recall, Rafik?
No.
All right. Well, it was a couple of podcasts ago where I thought Daniel actually met you, but then we had to listen to it. I made a small wager where I lost because he
wasn't there.
He wasn't
Ryan.
there. He was Ryan.
Oh, man, you're getting old. You're getting old, brother. What's wrong with you?
The whole time, so the whole week, he was super pumped about you coming here.
And then I changed the time, and I'm sorry.
No,
you were perfect.
Yeah. It was all good, but he was super pumped. And I was like, yeah, man, Rafik is just killing the game every single way possible. He's got the vlogs. He should have his own, real estate on Cinemax show. But yes, that's why I'm
just
glad,
a humble peasant.
I'm glad. I'm glad he showed up. And why did you invite him for this brokerage meeting, Daniel?
So a couple things. Number one, as soon as I did actually get to meet Rafik, not in the podcast, but we met briefly at a restaurant. I forget the name. I'm not giving them the shout out. But ever since that day, I was amazed at the number of people who would come up and say, have you seen what this Rafik guy is doing? He's killing it. Like, I have friends outside that we haven't been talking about, unrelated to VSM even, mentioning you consistently. And then I start to see the signs everywhere for the Caspian Group.
Reticular activation right there.
Exactly, yeah. And that's something that we touched on.
All over the place, man. All over the place, yeah.
And what I really found helpful from the meeting today, and I think the rest of the agents are going to get that too, is just opening your vision. And I think a lot of times we do focus on kind of the small problems, something that you were mentioning, where
you got to see the forest through the trees, brothers.
You do.
Bam, knowledge.
And what we talked about is just the specific opportunity in commercial real estate, and just due to the size of the transactions, the increased opportunity for people in our industry. And I think that exactly what Rafik was saying, where it's so easy to be focused on survival, especially in this game where we're working, you got to put in a lot of work in residential real estate to make $250,000 a year, something like that. And when you're so engaged in your current hustle, it's hard to focus on your improvement to move up to that next tier. Even though initially going in, you may have had that as a goal, your day-to-day activity kind of takes over. And that was so important for me to hear again.
I want to tell you one thing that comes to my mind as you say this. Jim Rohn, I listen to him a lot. Have a lot of respect for the man.
Jim Rohn.
He passed now. Jim Rohn, yeah.
He's basically the catalyst for Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins is a mentor,
people,
So he says, you pay your bills by working every day, and you build your future when you work after your day's over. Right. And that's basically when you say, "Oh well, it's so busy flipping houses or buying rentals." And I started this business when I had 12 to 14 flips going on at the same time. I had 60 to 70 rentals, and I was really, really busy, but I was so frustrated with day-to-day, just like you were talking about, day-to-day issues of people not paying, and of course I've always wanted to improve and improve my profitability and stuff. So that's where that propelled me to learn and go into commercial real estate. And I did one deal. I did 2 deals, and it was over. Like, I want to recuse myself from any residential activity, even though my guys still do residential deals. We still have 10 or 12 deals going on, believe it or not.
Yep.
But it's not me. It's my other friends and partners, Shirzad and Raheem, running that business.
Right.
Wow.
So what I wanted to know, and kind of to circle back into the Monday motivation is, and I think a lot of retail real estate agents that go into single family homes, they're just, the transaction is a little bit easier, and it's also, it becomes faster. How do you build the motivation when you say, you know what, I'm going into commercial real estate knowing that the sales cycle is, it could be 10 times longer than residential. How do you build up that motivation where you're like, you know what, I'm not going to make anything for 11 months and then 12 months, I'm going to make a $250,000 commission. How do you get that everyday motivation, consistency, day in, day out, month in, month out, where you're not making any money and then one day out of the year, it happens?
All right. This is what I want to tell you guys. All right. Paradigm shift is what you all need to experience, because you don't know what you don't know. You see, you know
True.
certain things.
Yep.
There's certain truth. You know that what you know. And then there is a territory of knowledge that you acknowledge that you don't know. And that's 1% of the universe. I mean, probably not even 1%, but as it relates to the industry. Now, here's the thing, okay? It's all about who you know, and it's all about what you know and how you can resolve the problem. Many of my deals have resulted in me purchasing a property and wholesaling it for $250,000 fee in 2 weeks. I told you about that. Told you that story. Many times, and then I've done a lot of wholesales because it's a residential hustle, right? Not a lot of people in commercial real estate do that, by the way. But I got so much opportunity coming at me and so many people on the other side of the equation that can't find deals. Just like in residential, in the commercial world, there's this huge gap of deals. There's no deals. Oh my God, nobody's got deals. Oh, Rafik's got deals. Let's call Rafik. Hey, you got deals? Oh, I got several deals. Which one do you want?
Right.
And then I don't get emotionally attached to anything. If anybody wants a deal, Fred, you want my apartment building? Have it. I'm happy to give it to you. How much are you willing to pay me? And they're happy to pay, 3, 5, 10%, depending on how good the deal is. I don't really negotiate. I really try to be a vehicle and help them. So no, you are wrong. If you know a good commercial deal and you call me about it, you can close in 2 weeks to 4 weeks and make ridiculous amount of money.
So would you say then, when you decided to do this shift into commercial, were you like, hey, I'm going to look for these deals, or hey, I'm going to network and build these relationships to get me into these deals?
Absolutely. Well, it was long-term time coming. I mean, I started talking about commercial real estate when nobody was in my world talking about it. Everybody was flipping houses. I was one of you guys, right? Yep. I'm flipping houses. I'm managing property and dealing with all these tenant issues. And then boom, I get one property and I buy it, and I sort of, for me, it was always about my real estate. That's why I keep pushing you to have your own.
He's pointing at me, everybody. And I'm pointing at Daniel.
I want to be pushed too, yeah.
No, but my point is, you guys need to own your own building. And then it will sort of propel you into the commercial realm. You'll see how it works. Just don't do the wrong deal.
I have a quick question for you too. So when you told your story in our meeting a little bit ago, and you were doing a bunch of residential flips, buy, hold, etc., working in that, and it was taking up almost all of your time, so it seems, right? You then, at that point, made that shift over. I think it's common, and it makes sense to me, where once you've fully saturated one side of your resources, so time in this example, that you look for a way to continue to expand and do something different. And I think a lot of us get caught in that. But what I would like to be able to do is try and move on to that before I get to that saturation point, to kind of accelerate my progress down into making that paradigm shift. Do you have any advice for that?
Ultimately, it's all about your focus. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that for a second, all right? If you focus on a certain area of your career and you want to propel yourself in a direction of flipping houses or being the best realtor, I know some realtors that make $500,000 a year in commissions, and they're really focused. Mm-hmm. All they do is buyer and seller rep, and they make a lot of money. Now, if you focus on any particular arena, which there's a huge gamut, you can do commercial, you can do residential, you can do flips, you can do builds, you can build houses, and there's a whole bunch of opportunity. If you focus on any particular opportunity, one thing I'll tell you, and I might be wrong, but the commercial real estate arena by far has the highest return on investment or on investment of your time.
Right.
Because you have higher margins, you have higher magnitudes. I mean, you're talking about small boxes where people live.
Yep.
You're talking about large boxes where people transact.
Yep.
It's just sheer volume of it makes your opportunity better. Now, can you focus on it? Now, you can't blankly stare at anything, but if you consistently learn about it, if you consistently improve your knowledge about it, now you guys have me. Every time you have a deal, as long as you listen to my advice, I'm happy to offer it. And you're not going to listen, of course. You get emotionally attached to the property.
Is he talking about anything specific?
But if
He's
you
still
listen,
pointing at me.
I am very excited about doing one deal with you guys where I want to go to a closing and boom, there's $1 million check. And you're like, oh my God, we just made this. I want to do that in the next 12 months.
And I wanna take that check.
All right. And so my point is, not for me, it's us. We're going to do it together. But my point is, you will basically, I think for you, Goran, that's where your paradigm shift is going to happen because you don't believe in
No,
this.
it's happening
not part
right
of your
now.
life.
I was just about to give you props because before when we just met before, and I was just very hesitant to get into what you're doing because everything was going great. But now I'm really starting to realize the time factor, the how fast I need to scale up when it comes to single family homes. And then when you look at it, the resources and time and the money, it's just not there. And now by going to this new venture, potentially buying a
70,000 square foot property.
1,000 square foot property that was going to be our headquarters. A lot of things have opened up just from our initial conversation where now I'm looking at things differently and analyzing and thinking about, you know what, this is the next progression. And now I see the reason why he left the business that I'm in now, where he's like, hey, this is where the big money's at. This is how you can
stretches
grow.
your mind, and once your mind is stretched, it's not going to shrink back. You make $1 million on a deal, you're not going to go back and flip houses. You're like, hold on a minute, I don't want to do houses anymore. I want to do one more of these. But back to your point, Daniel, it's all about the focus. If you focus on any particular area and you want to grow in that area of your focus grows, and it's all about being resourceful as it relates to that particular industry. You need to know people, you need to know bankers, but you can't really make money in any industry without any background knowledge. You got to prepare for it. You got to learn, you got to study, improve yourself, improve your mind. And once you have a solution, because it's all about a solution if you think about it, you got to have a solution for somebody else's problem. It just happens so that commercial real estate problems are much higher. You can make more money solving a commercial real estate problem.
Right.
And so as you need to learn how to solve commercial real estate problems, and that is leasing, rehabilitation, all kinds of other ways to improve a commercial piece of property. And it's very similar to residential business. So it's not, while it's a whole different industry, it's very similar. So it's easier for you guys to sort of get to that level.
Jump up. Yep. No, I think that, says a lot, and I now see it, especially if you really just break it down to numbers, dollars and cents. You look at everything from a financial perspective, and then you analyze, and you're like, how much time did I spend to, let's say, make $100,000 versus $200,000, and then recognizing it, and then accepting it, and then moving in that particular direction, whatever your business model is. Not to say that, what we're doing now, that we're going to shut it down, just like you, where you're like, hey, I still have residential operations going on. I still have third-party property management and own property management, but now focus here where the return on my time invested is much, much greater.
One of the biggest perceived problems of doing what I do today in your realm is sheer magnitude of capital you need to transact. And so immediately, as soon as you see the opportunity, you shut down because I don't have $500,000, and it's done. You don't really pursue the deal, pursue the solving of the problem because you don't have the money. Now, let me ask you a question. If you guys have a flip, a regular messed up flip in Richfield, Minnesota, and you don't have any money in the bank, right?
Yep.
And you just raise your hand and say, oh, by the way, I have this flip. Who's going to give you the money? Can you get the money?
Yes.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
Right.
Now, imagine doing the same thing on a commercial real estate, and that's where I am. I don't need money. As long as I identify a problem and I have a solution. You guys are good at flipping houses right now. I see your stuff. People are buying your houses, you're flipping, you're making a lot of money. So you have a track record and it works, right? Similarly, in commercial real estate, the biggest barrier to entry is large chunks of, and it's intimidating, chunks of cash. Intimidating, $500,000 down payment. Hold on a minute, scratching your head.
Yeah, that's just the down payment. That's not even a purchase.
Yeah. So, well, that's what we need, equity, right?
Right.
Because banks will give you the money if you have equity. But in my world, right, I have a property under contract right now for 238,000 square foot property, $5 million. I don't have $1 million in my bank today. I have access to it.
Right.
But I don't have $1 million in my bank today to buy it, and I'm not going to not go after it because now I'm just like you, have proven to a lot of people in my world, in my universe, that I can do this.
Yeah, you can
And
perform.
I got today more money available to me for deals than deals. That's why I'm talking to your people over here, because I want them to send me deals so I can solve more problems.
Right. And also part of you coming in here is kind of to illuminate everyone that's has these blinders on or tunnel vision when it comes to residential real estate. And if they have a real estate license that they can broker a $10 million deal, no big deal. And you being that resource where not just our agents, but agents anywhere and people listening here can bring things to you and you can help them out.
The agent who brought me the deal is making $150,000 commission on it. He just called me, sent me an email, said, "Hey, this is what I got. Do you want to buy it?" I said, "Of course. Let's look at it." We went out there, we looked at the property, walked the property. I said, "Write it up, let's go." And he spent literally 3 hours on that deal. He's not going to spend any more time,
right?
Because now I'm working.
Yep.
Right.
All he's going to do is spend half an hour driving to a title company.
Yep.
He's going to collect that check for $150,000, and I'm sure it's going to make his day. I hope
it's going to be a good day.
It's going to make his year, I think. I mean, that's fantastic. So, again, part of that motivation is for you and your willingness to open your eyes up, open your mind up to the possibilities, and then building those relationships, and then also educating yourself, and by building on the previous knowledge you had in the residential world,
absolutely,
to now expand it, which is kind of what we are doing or in the process of doing, and having you as a mentor / resource is key. So we definitely want to foster and continue to grow this relationship, do more vlogging, do more podcasting to basically spread, the knowledge, and hopefully you'll join the movement as well.
I don't know about that. I want you guys to join my movement, but our movement is very similar.
Join the movement. It's an autonomous entity where companies that VSM, KPS, whatever,
it's business done better.
It's business done better. So
I will definitely join the movement then.
Caspian Group is joining the movement. # join the movement.
It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Well, Rafik, thank you so much for being here to both capacities on the podcast and the meeting. Really expanded my thinking. I have a lot of thinking to do still.
You already look rich. So, I mean, you're just going now for extreme wealth.
Well, thanks so much for listening, everyone. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you.
All right. Goodbye. Thanks.